Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome. It is Thursday evening, and welcome to another session of my Thursday live streams. I'm just going to wait until, I get live and Facebook and more people hop on board with me here. And I'm also going to go live on my Instagram. So you know the drill, everybody. Say hello in the comments. Whenever you see me, if you can hear me, let me know that you can hear me. Good evening, hello everybody. Let's just wait a few more minutes. I know there's more people who want to join tonight for that topic. And I will also go live on my Instagram. Here we are. Okay. All right. Okay, everybody, I hope you had a nice day. It's Thursday evening. Hello. I hope everybody's doing well. Hey, Debbie, how are you guys doing? Nice to see you, everybody. Okay, I'm live on my Instagram. I'm live here in my Facebook group. So welcome to another Thursday evening live stream session. Today is going to be a really good topic. It's a topic that not so many people think about when it comes to autoimmune disease, but which is super critical to address as well. So we're going to go into details as to what the lymphatic system is. I know I had a lot of requests around the lymphatic system, how it works. It's that system that is not really clear on how it actually functions in the body to a lot of us. And so I'm going to be taking my time a little bit tonight and explain to you what it does, how it works, and especially why it's important for us with an autoimmune or chronic disease to support at all times. All right. If you do have any questions anytime, please drop them in the comments. I will probably not address them tonight because that is going to be a full session tonight, but I will most certainly reply to them after the session so that you get your questions answered. All right. Okay. So let's start. So the lymphatic system, it's our internal cleansing system. So again, everybody who hops on, please say hi in the comments. Let me know that you're here. Give me a wave. I'm going to be asking you a few questions in the throughout the session, just so that I get engagement, that I see that you're actually listening and taking in the information. Okay. So the lymphatic system, why is it so important for us? Well, we talk a lot about the gut and how gut health is truly where our immune system sits, and how supporting gut health is so critical for us with an autoimmune disease. And the connection between autoimmune and gut health is now well established in research, and it's truly an important thing that needs to be supported. But we oftentimes forget about the other systems in our body that are equally important with an autoimmune disease. And I'm going to go into why that is, why it's important. Even though the gut health is super important in terms of microbiome and the bacteria that are, having certain functions that keep us healthy and metabolizing our nutrients and all of that stuff, we shall not forget about the other side of the spectrum, which is the elimination and the waste removal and the garbage removal. Because truth is, if our body's not being able to remove the toxins or the endotoxins, which means the internal toxins that we're producing on a daily basis, then we are running into a problem because these toxins are starting to recirculate in our body, which then therefore increases inflammation. So there's this, and that's this system that our bodies have in place to do that on a daily, regular basis. And that is, part of it is the lymphatic system. And I think that people are starting to realize the importance of the detoxification pathways, to keep them open and to get our lymphatic system supported, as well as the liver, because what I see a lot of detoxes that are coming on especially in the spring. And there's like so many different detoxes out there that people go on because they realize they need to support their detoxification pathways. But truly, with anything, and that is the same thing with dieting, like whether you go on a keto diet or AIP diet or FODMAP diet or whatever, it's not just that one detox that is going to heal all your symptoms. It's not just going to be that one detox that's going to be that's going to make it able for you to reverse all of your symptoms. It might be helpful to open it up more, but truly what needs to happen in order to keep us supported on a daily basis is we need to support our immune system and our detoxification pathways regularly on a daily basis, because our garbage removal is happening on a daily basis. It doesn't just happen once a year or twice a year. It happens regularly on a daily basis. And what I also oftentimes see is that there's this misconception almost around autoimmune disease, which, which states, or a lot of people focus very much on the specific area in which their autoimmune shows. So whether that is the thyroid in Hashimoto's, whether that's the joints in rheumatoid arthritis, or the nerve system in MS. So, there's this focus on specific glands or tissues or organs. But what we forget in autoimmune is that what all of these autoimmune diseases have in common is an imbalance in our immune response. It's at the core of it all. It's not a disease of the gland per se, or not a disease of a specific tissue. They need to be supported, yes, absolutely. But at the core of it all, it's a disease of the immune system. It's our immune system that has gone haywire. And so we need to make sure that we are supporting our immune system on all levels. And keeping the detoxification pathways open is one level that needs to be supported, not just the gut. So that is why we're going to be talking about that today. And why is the lymphatic system so important, and what does it actually do? So the lymphatic system is really much like your internal garbage collection system. So as much as we, produce household garbage daily, we also produce internal garbage daily, right? So when you think about it, there's metabolic processes happening on a daily basis, and there is going to be waste that's going to be produced by just the meaning of metabolic processes, right? You have free radicals, you have used up hormones, you have endotoxins. All this waste is being created during the day, as well as external toxins that also come into play, right? So chemicals from the environment, air pollutants, carpet off-gassing, pesticides, and all of that good stuff. So all of that good stuff is starting to accumulate in your body, and the lymphatic system is really a way to transport all of that and make it available to be purged. So it's not just it does have that function, but there's also a lot more functions that the lymphatic system does, and I'm going to go into 3 of those functions today. So how does the lymphatic system work? When you think of the lymphatic system, it's like a system of vessels. So all those tubes, and those tubes, when you look at the anatomy, they are intertwined with, they run alongside your blood vessels. And it's really neat to see, it's really interesting to see how they're almost intertwined. So the lymphatic system looks the same as the blood vessel system, the tubes, but it's separate, but they are intertwined. And so you can see that the body is very smart, and the body has, is created with a purpose in mind. And so the lymphatic vessels, the tubes, are there to absorb the fluid that is leaking out of your blood cells. So your blood cells leak fluid, and your lymphatic vessels are actually absorbing this fluid, and thereby they are maintaining blood fluid levels for you. So keep that in mind for when you see that you have swelling. For example, swelling in your ankles, or swelling in your hands, or swelling in your toes and your feet. That is a really good sign that your lymphatic system is actually not working properly, right? Because it has that function of really keeping and maintaining that fluid level in your body. So that is function number 1. And just as a side note is that, unlike your circulatory system, where you have the pump, which is your heart, which pumps the blood through your body, the lymphatic system that is intertwined with the blood vessels does not have a pump, and it runs against gravity. So you need to mechanically move the lymph fluid from bottom to top to clear it. So just keep that in mind, because we're going to be talking about that a little bit later. The second function of the lymphatic system that not very many people are aware of is that your lymphatic system helps with fat absorption in your body. So it's really something that is really neat when you think about it, because the fat molecules are large, right? You have polyunsaturated fat molecules, and then they're large, and they can't pass through the gut lining. Some of them are too large, they can't pass through the gut lining. So your omega-3s and the omega-6s can't do that. So what does the lymphatic system do? The lymphatic system picks up these fat molecules, and it transports it up through the lymph, and it then transports it through the heart, through the circulatory system, where it then enters the blood, right? So water-soluble nutrients such as proteins and carbs and certain vitamins and minerals, they pass into the bloodstream through the capillaries in your gut, and then where they are transported directly to the liver, and then onwards to whatever organs and tissues the body requires them for. But this is not so with the fats. The fats and the fatty acids, they take that other route. Instead of being absorbed through the gut, they are then being transported through the lymphatic system. And really, that milky white substance that is created with the fats and the lymph is then it's being carried through the lymphatic vessels, and it's being delivered into what's called the thoracic duct. And then, like I said, it's being delivered directly into the heart, because that duct is connected to the heart. And then at this point is where the fats are actually entering the bloodstream. So think about that for a minute. Think about it and see the importance of how important it is to eat the right kind of fats, right? Number 1, we know that fats, essential fatty acids, are super anti-inflammatory, right? So they go through your heart and keep your heart healthy just as much as the cells that they're going to go into, right? But since the bad as well as the good fats pass through the heart before they have benefited from the detoxifying process performed by the liver, which happens later, the quality of the fats is so important when it comes to eating foods, right? So just keep that in mind. That is a really important function of the lymphatic system as well, and plays a huge role in keeping our immune system healthy, right? Because when we eat those, those bad fats or the trans fats, then we're just starting to increase that inflammation in our circulatory system as well. And function number 3 and that is really one of the major functions, is the immunological defense. So there, like I said earlier, the lymphatic system has that garbage removal function, which means it's an integral part of our immune system. So we all know that we have the lymph nodes, right? So lymph nodes here, and we have lymph nodes under our arms. And actually 75% of our body's lymph is being drained into the underarm lymph nodes. So keep that in mind, when we talk about ways how to detoxify those, right? The lymph nodes. So I hear that a lot of people are struggling with swollen lymph nodes. They hurt, they're swollen, and nobody knows why. And oftentimes doctors can't give you an answer, can give you a reason why. And the problem is with that, and then oftentimes the only suggestion that I hear is, well, let's just take that out and then you're done, right? And then you can go back to your life, and then you don't have to deal with that pain anymore. But the issue is that there's a reason as to why those lymph nodes are swollen, right? And most of the time is because the garbage that the lymphatic system is picking up is being detoxified inside the lymph nodes. So the lymph nodes are basically little factories along the way. So the lymphatic system is the tunnels, is the vessels, which then, leads into various lymph nodes. There's quite a number of them throughout your body. And in those factories, the lymph nodes, they sample the blood. So they sample the blood, they test it to see if there's really something that is harmful or that it's friendly, right? And if it is harmful, then you have those lymphocytes stationed in those nodules. And the lymphocytes are white blood cells. And we all know that the white blood cells are part of your immune system, right? So the white blood cells in the nodules can then go ahead and engulf and eat those invaders. This is what they do. They engulf them, they eat them and prepare them. And then they're going to be sending them out through your elimination pathways. But when the lymph nodes are being overburdened, which means that there's too much of the toxins of the invaders coming in, then they get sluggish. They can't do their job anymore, and then you'll start to feel the swelling and the pain in them. So then it's a really good time to think about, okay, where is this inflammation coming from? Because my lymph nodes can't keep up anymore, right? And then after that, once the invaders are being engulfed and eaten, then the lymph is filtered and then returned into lymphatic fluid to the circulatory system and or through the elimination system. So let me know if that makes sense. Let me know in the comments if this makes sense, if you have any questions. So these are really the three, top three functions of your lymphatic system. And going back to what I said in the very beginning, autoimmune disease is not a disease of a specific gland or a specific organ or a specific tissue. Autoimmune disease at its core is a disease of your immune system. So now you know how the lymphatic system plays such a huge role in terms of fat absorption, which I find a lot of us have issues with fat absorption. Lymphatic system plays a huge role in fat absorption, and as well as in the immune supporting world, with the nodules, with the lymph nodes being the factories, right? So just keep that in mind as you venture out and start to repair your gut health. keep the lymphatic system happy and the detoxification pathways open. Which leads me into solutions, right? Because for every problem, there's a solution. So let's talk about what you can do, how you can support your lymphatic system. What can you do? So, like I said before, keep in mind that your lymphatic system, although it's intertwined with your circulatory system, it does not have a pump, right? Unlike your heart, it does not have a pump. So it needs that. It needs the manual activation. It needs the mechanical movement. How can you do that? The best thing to do that is by exercising, of course, right? So exercise, of course, is the number one thing you can do in order to get your lymph flowing, right? From bottom to top. Another thing that I really like to do is, and you can incorporate that daily, is skin brushing, dry brushing. Dry brushing your skin not only exfoliates your skin and gets rid of the old skin cells and opens up the pores, which is another elimination way of toxins to pass out of your body, but it also moves the lymph upwards. So whenever you do your skin brushing, start at the ankles on your feet, and then brush upwards towards your heart, because that is how the lymph flows, and this is how you detoxify, right? So that is a really good way of supporting your lymphatic system. Another good thing that I always like to do, even though it's hard, is contrast shower. So switching between 30 seconds of really, really hot to 30 seconds of really, really cold shower. So the back and forth really starts to contract your muscles, and muscle contraction in itself helps to move the lymph, right? So when you go in the shower, try to start the 30 seconds here, hot, 30 seconds cold, and see if you can tolerate it. It took me a while for me personally to be able to do it. It's not easy. It's funny, I have a friend and she lives in Florida, and we were talking, and she says to her, it's no issue. She can go back and forth between hot and cold, easy. And so one day she came up to Canada for a visit, and she came during winter. And so she had a shower, and I asked her, how did your contrast showering go? And she said to me that she couldn't do it. She couldn't do it here in Canada because the cold water in our pipes is so much colder than the water she gets in her pipes in Florida ever. So keep that in mind too. Like if you are in California, it might be easier as if when you're, let's say, here in Ontario or somewhere else in a really cold part of the world. So that is another really good thing. Another good thing that I like to do is rebounding. So hopping on a trampoline is great. We don't have a trampoline per se, but what I like to do is I like to do my jumping jacks every morning. So I really like that. I enjoy that, and it starts the lymph to flow upwards. And the last suggestion that I always suggest and love so much is a lymphatic drainage massage. So there's ways you can do it on your own. You can massage your own, your lymphatic system, but there's certain techniques and ways to do it. And if you're not trained on it, if you're not comfortable doing it, I wouldn't recommend it. That is why I go to somebody who's certified as a lymphatic massage therapist, and she massages my lymphatic system. So it's really relaxing, and it really can help to get the lymph flowing and to help your lymph nodes to pick up the slack. So those are just a few options, suggestions that you can take with you tonight and maybe incorporate into your days to really start to support your lymphatic system along the way. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that was informative for you. I hope that helped to demystify a little bit what the lymphatic system can do for you and why it's so important to support. So I know that there's a few questions that are coming in, and I will not answer them right now, but I will answer them once I finish this video. All right, guys. So I hope that was informative for you. And thank you so much for jumping on again to another Thursday live stream. And I will see you again very soon in the group. Have a good night, everybody.